version of the Reconomy Canvas. We've got, I think everybody's in from the waiting room now, which is great. And we're going to be streaming live on YouTube. So all very exciting, this global event. So just to let everybody know, we're going to record. If that is not okay, then you've been forewarned. You can keep your cameras off or whatever you need to do. But we're going to record it. And Angelica, if you can start the recording now, that would be great. Great. Well, welcome everybody. And this is kind of exciting, actually, the launch of this ebook and platform. Before we get there, I would just like to say that this is a Reconomy Community of Practice event. And for those of you who don't know, Reconomy is something that grew out of the Transition Town movement. It's all about economic relocalization, conviviality, regenerative practices, all of the sort of place-based new kind of economics that we'd like to see, or we'd like to think so. So for 10 years, many of us in this broad and deep movement in, I think, happening in 50 countries now. The transition movement is happening in 50 countries. But there's a small but mighty network of people who are doing this work of economic relocalization with the name of Reconomy. So we have a global community of practice Facebook group. And so I'm just going to put the link in the chat for anybody who's interested in becoming part of that. And there that is. And I'm calling in from Totnes. My name is Jay Tompt, and I'm one of the co-founders of Reconomy here in Totnes and this this network. And we've been going for about 10 years in Totnes, and probably many of you have heard about Totnes, and I can see Wes Hanks is in the call, and I know, Wes, you know about Totnes and you know about our work. But I'm going to put the link for the Reconomy Center in here, and you can click that if you're interested to see what we've been doing in Totnes these last 10 years or so. And just a quick plug, here in Totnes, we have Transition Town Totnes, but we also have Schumacher College. And they're part of the story because Melissa visited us here, visited Schumacher College, and that's when we met about 10 years ago. And I started teaching there too, on the regenerative economics program. And I think it's fair to say there is a very, very strong connection between our part of the world and Brazil. And so I'm just going to pop the link in here to the regenerative economics program, just so you have that if you're interested. I think we have somebody from Brazil, one or two, maybe more people every year on one or more of the courses here at Schumacher. So a very strong connection. So again, welcome everyone. I suppose you're here because you're interested in this launch of the English language Reconomy Canvas. Probably you know a little bit about what this is about. I'm curious, how many of you have some experience with the business model canvas or something like that? Just raise your hand or give me some kind of sign. Some of you. How many of you have started your own business? Great, yeah, me too. And back in the old days, when I was involved in starting things up, we didn't have tools like this to help. So things have progressed a lot over the last few decades. And I think the Reconomy Canva represents another big step in progress and innovating on this kind of tool. But before I I say too much, I'm going to hand it over to our guests. So I'm going to introduce Melissa Bivar. Can you just wave and say hello? And Angelica Bonfilioli.
Hello, everyone.
Have a little wave. Hello. And Monica Picalea.
Hello.
Great. So welcome you three, and I'm just going to hand it over to you now, and you can introduce us to this great project.
Great, Jay. Thank you so much. Thank you all of you guys to be here with us today. First of all, I'm sorry for my English. I will try to get the best I can, you know, with the communications. But well, I'm going to tell a little bit about how it started, this project, and share with you some of our challenges doing it. I'm going to share my screen with you. Hold on a second. Here, you guys can see it? It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, this project is a result of another series of projects and experimentations that we had made here in Rio de Janeiro, and that's because we really try something new that we finally got here at the Reconomy canvas. Well, everything started because we had a project in Rio de Janeiro called Terra. For 2 years, we experienced a share space between entrepreneurs that were searching for a way of doing business in a new way of doing business. We were all trying to find a place of building our enterprises in a way that we could take care of life itself, and we could help each other with new tools and in a collaborative way of doing things. And Terra was located here at Laranjeiras and Cosme Velho in Rio de Janeiro. And for 2 years, we were trying new tools, and we were trying a new way of governance and a new way of economic relations. And well, at one point of this experimentation, we realized that we had this little ecosystem of entrepreneurs, and we would like to understand a little bit more about the territory, the place where we were, and which other entrepreneurs would be there, out there, and that we were not connected yet. And we would like to understand how they were doing their business in the same place, and how they were building their business. And if we could help each other in these ideas and these concepts of regeneration and resilience economy. And because of this, we started to search a little bit more in the transition movement. And I got in touch with Jay again after almost 10 years from the first meeting we had. And I understood a little bit more about the event they had in Totnes called the Local Entrepreneur Forum. So with Jay's help, we organized the first entrepreneur forum in Rio de Janeiro, what we call the Local Regenerative Entrepreneurship Forum. And for doing this, we decided that it was very necessary to have a kind of learning journey, because we didn't all know exactly what a regenerative entrepreneur would be. So we had to learn together how to do it. So we decided that was very necessary to use tools that would help us to build this journey. So the group here in Rio that was integrating Terra at the time we prepare a kind of tool, the first tool that would mix lots of other tools that that could help the entrepreneurs to modeling their business in this new way of caring, in a caring way. So we tried something like this that was integrating the concepts of design of regenerative development, integrating dragon dreaming, fluxonomy 4D, appreciative inquiry, and business model canvas. However, during the process, we understood that that all those tools were very interesting and important for the process, but the business model canvas, we understood that some of the concepts in the modeling, they could not attend our needs on the regenerative concept and the resilient concept. So we started to look for other models that could help us, other business model canvas that were out there, and they were trying to take care of some of the values that were important to us too, like social value generator, like a circular business, circular economy. But all of them, they had the same point that was a very important point for us. None of them could help or could bring response or solutions or ways of doing it through collaboration. All of them, they were telling the story of separation, and competition. And we were trying to build something that could help entrepreneurs to look forward and to look through a way of doing business, helping each other, and doing business, looking for the place where they are, and how the business could help the place or could support the place on the evolution process of the integrated system, the place that we are. So in this point, it was in the end of the journey of the forum. I was with all those reflections with me, and I brought those points to our Brazilian hub on the transition. And that's when I got the support of Monica, Angelica, and everyone else at the hubby. And we started to talk about it. And we started to think how could we do something different. Monica, you would like to say something?
Yes, the most interesting thing that we understood on this process was that talking to some entrepreneurs that were inside the hub, that when we found that we were on this Reconomy journey, that localize and see what is around us and how the territory can bring more potentiality to our work and help us to be more prosper and thrive in a better way together. So this was something that we can't see on the other canvas. And thinking about that, and especially because we had some different experiences because of COVID, there was a lot of thinking about relocalization because of the changes that happened when we stayed at home, and thinking that we used to go to places around us, and if we didn't work together and know how were the places and the business that were around us and help them to thrive, we couldn't see them anymore when we got out of this this moment of pandemic. This was something that brought us a feeling and a big desire of create this kind of framework. And that we talk at sometimes to some people that used to say that people love to see frameworks and go through them and try to have a, a real and a journey that can be, I don't know, more touchable about doing things. And when people say, okay, what's Reconomy and how can we put our business inside Reconomy? And then we start thinking, what could we put inside this material to help these entrepreneurs that we felt when we started our business that was necessary, and we have to look for in many places different tools to work. I think that this was something, right, Melissa, that we thought a lot about. That's how we can find this business around us, and how we can look to the territory with another eyes, and think about how can we thrive together and feel this collaboration place of doing business and taking care of each other. I think,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, that was the point that we started to to get deeper in the reflections, and so we started to share with all of our group, and we finally started to design a new framework, and this is the result that we got. This new framework, we are bringing some new concepts that the other canvas they don't include, like individual proposal. We start the first step over here. It's the individual motivation, the place where your drive is. Say, Monica,
Do you
what
want
is?
me to change to the English version that we have an ebook? Can I share it? So we
Yes,
have
please,
the,
please,
yeah,
please.
so we can have the, okay. I will share with you the English version. I think it's easier to understand,
Yeah.
right? Oh, yeah.
Well, this first step, it means our motivation, our drive, our personal drive, and in the ebook we describe ways of searching for it, of looking at it, and that's the first step, the first movement. It's very, very important for us to to be building a business that means a lot of what makes us happy, what makes us vibrate. So the first step is to know ourselves. So the second step in our board, in our framework, is looking at the territory, looking at the place where we are, and understand the identity of this place, understand the vocations and the potentials of this place, what this place, what's the history of this place, what this place tells us about the evolutionary process that it brings it. And then we do a kind of it's a kind of overview, and we can create a kind of mind map of the place where we are, and the actors that are in this bioregion where our future business will be located.
Yeah. And I think that's something interesting. That's we say why we put propose first and go into the territory. So because if we go straight to the territory and just look at it, it looks like a too big picture, like you can look anything. And when you go with something that can give you a clue of who can be your partner, or where can you look for, or even in the vocations, what can you focus on. It helps you to bring things more accurate to help you with your business. That's what we put first propose and then go to the territory. And this was one of the things that we believe that was important before you think which kind of dream can you have connecting yourself, your purpose, and the territory potentialities and the territory possibilities that you found. I think that then you come to the dream. So, okay, I found this, I come from this, and how can I join them and bring a dream, and what's the best thing? Okay, can I dream for the territory? Sorry, Melissa, just
perfect. Yeah, it's the dream comes as the third step, exactly in this way that Monica said, and then we started to design our value proposition, because then we already have the main elements to design this value proposition. What is my business? What is the product or service I can offer that will be really add value to the territory where I am, to the region where I am, and to the people that that are part of this region. So brings up the value proposition. And then the fifth step is the 4D resource mapping. Fluxonomy 4D, it's a methodology created by a Brazilian lady called Lala Denzenlin, where she explains or at least organize the view of economics through 4 dimensions of resources, 4 different dimensions of resources. And the idea of mapping resources in 4 different dimensions helps us to understand all the resources we already have, all the resources that we need for our project, and all the resources that we desire to attend, by the point of equilibrium of the business, So over here is the point of where we integrate revenues and costs of the business model Canvas traditional. We integrate revenue and costs over here, mapping in 4D resources these three blocks of resources. The resources I have that can help my business, the resources I need or investments in 4D, and the resources I desire to have for my business, So here we can map not only the financial resources as usual, but resources like learning capacities and building network and spaces and environment equipments important for my business. So we can put all of those resources as some special and important resources for my business in separating dimensions. Would you like to say something?
I think that's something interesting, because look for this all those 4 dimensions helps us to be a little bit out of that only money is the resource we need to start something, and we really believe that this kind of thinking is very important for the entrepreneurs. One of them yesterday, when we were talking about this in Portuguese, told us that the interesting thing was that they can dream about even not having money, like to start something, because they could start with another resources that they had. So this was something that make us feel very good with this kind of mapping, because of think that somebody can dream about something, and even not having this kind of species money that we used to think about is very interesting. And going from this to the client, I really believe that when we talk about the client, we think about something very interesting that people from the Regeneration Institute told us in the movement when we start talking about regeneration of the territory. That was, how can we help our client to be the best version of him? And this was something that I said, I don't know, I think it's too much, like, how's this, this feeling of having this need of look for what the best thing he can be, and then studying and working on this process, we thought that it makes a lot of sense. Because if we think that where do we start, we can start to the best version of our client. What can we help them? How can we help them with our project to be his best version? And the same for the territory. How can we help with what we do to find the best version that our territory can be? So it was something that made us, I don't know, excited about the project. And so the same about partners, right, Melissa? That how can we look to our partners and see where is our place to help them to be their best version? At the same time, if we are connected and we go and come our best version of it. So
yeah, that's it. Here at the partners, well, understand who are our partners in this region where we are located, and they are only here at the region, or we can have partners in our business that are located in other places too, with all the technology available. And mapping those partners, well, in the 4D, when we had this mapping of our resources, we do also map all our network and all the capacities and abilities that we need for our business. So in the 4D, we started to understand all the abilities and capacities needed for our business, and then we go over to look for the partners, the ideal partners for our business, and where they are. And then those are the people that will help to build the business. And the collaborative network are exactly all in the second step of our framework. When we went to the place, we went to the region, look and understand a little bit more of the identity, vocations, potentials, and network in the place. And over here we can see all the waves of potential collaboration that we can have in the territory, in the region. So understand how our business can support and help other business, and how can all those other business already in the region can help and support our business. So understand a little bit more of applied collaboration, that we have been talking a lot about this, because the collaboration is a very hard thing to do. We have to train to collaborate, because we all were we have been learning for all our lives to compete with each other. So we have to understand and practice how to collaborate. So it's very important for us to be here at the framework, the collaborative network, because we have to give attention to it. It's something that it has to be built.
Yeah. And then we pass to the strategy and the MVP, like the minimum product viable to work with. So not go to the market or to the place with already product, but go and think about who can test it and help me to co-design it. So where can I go and look into these partners and look to this collaborative network? Who can help me to co-create this product? So this is the thought about the minimum product viable. That's how can we look at it and see how can we test it and bring all this inputs to it to be improving it. And having this connection when we have a collaborative network, is easier to have this feedback loop, to send it, use it, come back with the feedback, and then you can improve your product. I think that's it's something very important, because normally now we see that things are too fast, so you can't wait to have the perfect product, because there is no perfect product. You have to use it and test it, and people tell you what's happening and go co-creating it. Yeah. I don't know if you want to say something. Can I go to governance?
Governance.
Okay. So talking about governance, that's something very interesting. We put it here because when we start talking to the entrepreneurs, they said, well, but the governance isn't that there is a director and then there is somebody that take care of something, there is a secretary, and said like this kind of thinking that we used to have, that's like a model that we think that that's the only one that happens. So when we talk about governance, we want people to think about that there are another ways of doing things, and of not only of thinking, but of sharing discussions and decisions. So we talk a little bit of some of them, like sociocracy, holocracy, and how you can use this kind of different ways of having governance, and how it can be more innovative and more creative for the business.
Yeah, the idea of the whole framework and the governance and collaboration, and talks a lot about this, and even the first steps too. It's the relations and the human relations in the business, the human relations with the place, the human relations between economic business and economic relations, and the human relations in the decision making and in the whole process of managing. So we bring a lot of this essence to the framework in everything we were designing.
Yeah.
And this next step about communication, here it's very important for us, and this comes a lot in the ebook. It's understand that communication it's about building new narratives, new stories. We understand that building a new way of doing business, it's something new, and we have to build new stories of this kind of business, and we have to build new cultures of doing business. So it's very important for the entrepreneur that it's investigating a modeling like this, or it's trying a modeling like this, to understand there is a responsibility of how they will communicate their business, and why their business is like this, and why they are choosing this. This is something that helps people to understand a little bit more about what's going on in the world and what's going on with people's choices. So we understand that communication, it's not only the way we communicate our product or our service to the client, but why this product and this service is what it is, and why it does the way it does, why it chooses to do what it chooses to do. So this communication talks a lot about this too here in the Reconomy canvas. And then we go to the last place of the framework, that we go back to the region and look back to the whole picture. And we understand a little more about how can we develop new capacities inside the business. So for us, for our partners, and in the collaborative network, and how we can help to build new capacities for the territory to be the best it can be, you know. So the idea is when we just, you know, went to all these steps, we can look for this whole picture and understand how can we, you know, be a little bit more of what we have been doing.
Yeah, I think that's is important, and think about in not only in communication, but thinking about impact, that creates a narrative that can help us to relocalize business and everything. I used to say that Yuval Harari said that the man just become this this being that have so many different impacts in nature, came from a narrative that people can join and collaborate in a huge way, you know, and indirect way. So we think about that, maybe create a good narrative that business can join and work together, can help us to choose how our territory is going to grow. And I remember a lot of Totnes and the Costa Café. I was there when it happened, and it was something that made me feel very confident about talking about narratives, because if you know what you want from your territory, if you are together in this thought and in this narrative, it's easier for you to see and to help the territory to be what it can be, the best it can be for everybody that live there, not people that's outside or coming. So yeah, I think that all this points that choose to put on it is especially to make the entrepreneurs think about I don't know, in another way of their business and the relationship about territory. I think that's it. Now we open for you for questions. And
well, let me share this last slides here. We were expecting to go through with you in the platform, the web platform. We designed a web platform. This is our team. Felipe Tavares, Juliana, and Carla Mourão. They are not here today with us, but they are here in heart. And what we were expecting today is that we could present you the web platform. However, we had some problems with the platform yesterday. And unfortunately, we are going to show you all the ebook that's already here. Do you wanna share the link? Angel, are you going to share the link? Okay. Yeah. We have here the link for the ebook. So in the ebook, you can have all the information to fill it up, the business model canvas. And soon our platform will be ready again, because it was already ready. And you can access through our website that's here too. I just put in the chat. I can show you a little bit of our website, and you can see what's going on right now. This is our website here in Brazil. And you can access over here, and you can have a version what we call a light version of the Reconomy canvas through the website. So you can fill it up, everything, all those steps through the website. And what we are starting to understand is that probably it's going to have three different ways of filling up the framework. It's this light way that's through the website, and there is another way that you can go through the ebook, all the ebook first, and then start to fill it up. So you have first the reflections and the orientation, and then you go to the platform. And probably a third way that you can do it together with someone else that can, be supporting and helping the reflections with you. This is some of the things that we have been talking about lately.
And I'd like to tell you that what we did for this first moment, that to look to the platform, was to choose some questions that could help you to answer this, this place and this little block of it. So we choose some questions and some words that can help you to find how your business can answer these questions.
Yeah, you're going to have exactly this version in English that you have here, the framework, and you can have download to print the framework, and then you can fill it up, all these spaces here. And as Monica said, you're going to be answering questions to help you go through the reflections you have to modeling your business.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Okay. Wow. That was a very interesting and full presentation of the canvas. I've known you guys for a little while now, and I'm familiar with the concept and the ebook. I will say that the ebook is like a mini. It's like a 1-minute MBA, so to speak, for regenerative business, because it's packed with all kinds of learning and links and things. And I mean, one of the things that you were mentioning in terms of your pathways is, one pathway could be to read the book and then try to fill out the form, or to try to fill out the form and then, bounce back and forth with the book if you want to. But I suppose also it's an iterative process, isn't it? So I like the way that you've designed it with that kind of spiral shape in the center. Why did you do it that way and not the sort of blocks of rectangles to fill in?
Yeah, I think that there is something very interesting, because we started with the rectangles, and then because we wanted it to look like the canvas, the traditional canvas, just to have something, because we changed it so many things that we thought that we couldn't call it canvas anymore. So because it don't look like it. So, but when we saw the process, because you come and go like to the territory, you come and go sometimes to the client, and you come back to another place. It's not something that just go to one and then go to the other one and go to the other one, right, Mel? Like we used to think that we are on this spiral and we grow in each one of the process. When you answer one of them, you grow a little bit. And when we talk about spiral, that's what we want to show. Like you grow a little bit and then you go to another place in the spiral, like, and how to show that was a really hard thing. Right?
I can share the screen of the first try we had with the design, so you can have.
God. Yeah. It's so square.
This was our first try. We are trying to understand how could we do, this. How could we give the idea of going back and forth and understanding that one information can help the next step. So, and how can we go back if we need? So the idea of the spiral would help us to show that we have, it's a kind of it's more than, it's a spiral, isn't it? It's that we go and go several times to the same place if we need. But this was the first try that we had. And Carla is our designer, and she came to save us.
Yeah. And she look, and there is something interesting too, that we made this process many times as entrepreneur, just to see how entrepreneur could feel when it fulfill it. And so we have 15 places to fulfill, and then we came to 13, and then 12. Why?
Yeah.
Because we thought that, oh my God, that's too much things to fulfill. They will stop in the middle. We will lose them.
And how could we integrate concepts? Some concepts, they were similar, but they were like separated. And so how could we integrate concepts and help the way of thinking? Because one of the challenges were, it still is, the language. How can we write something and help the entrepreneur going through a new path of entrepreneurship, but doing in a way that the person didn't give up, because that was something that we were very worried about. So if the person starts to not understand what we are saying, they will just give up. So this is still something that we are, working on, getting better language too.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you don't create another narrative, you can't come to this new way of doing it. So we have to put the word, we have to try to explain it, but not leave them and not lose them on the process. So this was our challenge.
I've got two more little points to bring up, and then we'll open it up to the floor for questions. One is, I really like the way that you've located this process in a place, and I like that you start with the entrepreneur's purpose as a place to start. That's an obvious place to start, but then to say, okay, well, what is your purpose in the context of your place, and how might that relationship be explored? And I think that kind of leads me to my second point, which is I like all of the provocations. So I wasn't familiar with Fluxonomy 4D, and you know how it is when you're presented with something new, you immediately want to say, well, I never heard of that before, so it can't be very good. But it opens your mind to new possibilities. And I think that's really one of the benefits of a tool like this, is that it provokes the user to get out of your comfortable ways of thinking and to get out of your own biases, to look at things in new and different ways. So I don't know if you have any comebacks to any of those points, but.
Well, I think that was the provocation that we really would like to bring up, the experimentation that we had at Terra. Well, I still have lots of learnings from Terra, something that is still like downloading, in my system right now, because we really experienced different types of technologies, social technologies together. Fluxonomy was one of them, holacracy, nonviolent communication, network organizations. So getting all these concepts and experiencing all of them, they really brings, it builds new knowledge, builds new way of seeing things. So I think the provocation, it is exactly what you said. It's to the person look at and get a little bit uncomfortable with that, and see if this feeling brings it desire of, investigate a little more and understand a new way of doing it.
And I think, Mel, sometimes give light to some capabilities and some opportunities that they didn't see about themselves. Like more than look, than bring this knowledge is to look to you and to your work and see more things than you used to see. And I think in sometimes it brings like hope, like I think there are something that I don't know how to do, and maybe I have this resource and I didn't know that. So yeah.
Yeah, something that always moves me a lot is that the startups movements here in Rio de Janeiro, they are reproducing the business as usual in everything. It's incredible to see it, because we have lots of young people. They are very innovative. They have very brilliant ideas, but the way of doing business, it's the same. It's the same. They are looking for the same inspirations of huge entrepreneurs that have been doing business as usual. So we started to introduce a saying that we are trying to get off business as usual and trying to build a concept of business as caring. So that's the idea of this project, to bring the entrepreneurs to look at, with new lens.
And maybe find some, when we think about that, sometimes they create things that look like, even the product look like this reproducing of old thinkings. And maybe there are so many other opportunities that are coming with the crisis, and they are coming with, with all these changes that we're living. And that maybe they can see if they start thinking in other things. I don't know. Not only that,
Great. Should we open it up to the floor? Any questions or comments? And maybe Brett, you can say a little bit more about the point that you made in the chat about mapping it onto the eco-cycle planning model. I'm not familiar with that. Maybe you can say a bit more.
We can't hear you, Brett.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he can't. I think he can't turn on.
Right, okay, cool. Okay. There we are. Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's interesting because that relates back to what you're saying, Jay, about new models and ideas, because I was running a Reinventing Work event before lockdown, and we always ask at the end of it, what other things people would like to cover in subsequent events, and somebody put up eco-cycle planning, and I'd never heard of it, so I said, right, that's what I'll do next time. So I did that, and it was fascinating. What I like about it, rather than a spiral, I mean, I love spirals because they're everywhere, but it uses the infinity loop. And the more I looked at it, the more I realized that it actually maps almost exactly with the I Ching and the flow of the different energies through the cycle. And it was just so magic to actually look at it in the terms of not just process, this is what we've got to do, this is what we've got to do next, but in terms of the energies that you need at each stage of the process, and therefore the people that need to be kind of coming to the fore and stepping back at appropriate stages, which kind of links into the collaboration and who your partners are and all that. So it is just brilliantly fascinating and fun. So yeah, that's what I have to say on that.
Great.
Great, very well said. And Jaya, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, has just put many words in the chat. Jaya, do you have a question to ask or something to say? You're more than happy to get the talking stick and say it out loud instead of typing, or I can read these out. Okay, I'll read out the first one. How do you see the influence of the monetary entity in general on the separation, division, and disunity of humanity? Oof, that is a big question. Melissa.
Oh my God.
Well, let me see if I can maybe find another way in that's a little bit easier. You've said it a couple times that this approach is really about businesses caring, and really, that suggests so much that what this is all about in terms of regenerative enterprise, anyway, the kind of business that we need, which is not the business as usual, but the business of caring, the business of meeting our needs in ways that are caring for each other and caring for the planet. So what role does money in exchange have to play here?
Well, what we were, our objective with this framework was to bring it up more than the idea of financial revenue. We would like to understand how could we build a business that makes us understand revenue in a concept that brings all the things that makes us happy in life, because we have been through all those decades, the last decades, we have been building business with the only idea of money as the indicator of success. Money is how much money you do is the best indicator of your success in life. So if you have a very successful business, you are making a lot of money. What we are trying to understand here is, if I do a lot of success in my business, how much happy I am, how glad I am with all the things that I do, with all the influence I do, with all the things that I learn, with people that are with me, are working in my network. So how much well I feel with what I do. So it means so understand it. Something like in Bhutan, how we call Bhutan in English?
Yes, I
It's
think
Bhutan.
Bhutan.
Bhutan. Yeah. In Bhutan, they have the internal happiness indicator in Bhutan. So how can we look for that as an inspiration, for the way we build business, I don't know if I could explain. I would do better if it was in Portuguese, but I'm trying here.
Yes, I would like to add a little bit. That's when we think about that, what we think and what we feel when we create this tool is to make people think about what make them happy too. Like, because we go to a wheel that's things pass by us, and many times we just understood that the success is money, and success is growth, and success is growth crazily, even if the planet has not capability for these resources, and we don't think about that. And sometimes when people think what they are doing and how things go, they feel that this is not what made them happy. And me and Melissa, we came from business as usual. I was from a company. I run a company for a long time. And then I felt like it doesn't make sense for me anymore, you know, like produce this and live like this, like a crazy girl traveling everywhere and thinking it was not good for me. So what's success for me? That was the place and the moment that I thought about that, you know. And if maybe we can create these new narratives, and the thing is that money became an objective and not don't have the meaning that it's supposed to be. That's something to make exchanges. It looks like that you have to have it and put it and have it and make it grow and everything. And sometimes you don't even want what to do with that and you don't feel happy. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's something that the objective of money in the society is something that brings separation, division, you know, and all this that Jaya said and asked us about that, and use money to recreate, reinforce this objective. Keep on doing that, you know, make it make the wheel going on, you know. Yeah, that's just
Fabulous.
thoughts.
Hey, you know
so
what?
now I can speak. My audio is not blocked anymore.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Oh,
So why don't you,
don't-
Jaya, if you have more to say, why don't you pop in there and say it?
please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, now we have a concrete situation that we have to save this planet in very extreme measures, global measures and global united. And instead, I'm from Germany, for example, and we make the most of money with cars, with airplanes, Airbus, and cruisers, even tourism, and so on. And if we would give up this, we would become like Greece or even African countries, and other countries would have the power about us. So we can't give them up. We have to sell cars. And so the monetary constraints, they don't allow us to fight against the climate catastrophe and the ecological breakdown and the overproduction and waste and whatever. And so, but what I want to bring in as a new narrative is that we now, with the networking, global networking, we have another organizational instrument. For the first time in human history, we could replace them, prepare them, and replace the monetary constraints and means within one act. And this is a tiny little chance that we have as a world to come together and to overcome all what separates us and brings disunity into our global world society. It's a very new thing for sure, but we have to do very big and very new ways to go them ways now. Yeah.
Now is the time, and we heard the church bells ring, signaling that now was the time just a minute ago. So how fortuitous.
Simon, I want to say something. Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, did you want to? Okay.
I was just going to say, you're really struggling with the fundamental challenge of business, which is just this conviction that business is about how much money we're going to make. It's crazy. So what you need, and what I'm working on, is you need a concept within your business which ensures that doesn't happen. Because once you start to generate money, people will start to say, well, I've contributed more to this, I'm worth more. So I'm working on what I call a fair shares commons business, which has got stakeholders who oversee the business stays true to its purpose in much the same way that trustees do within a charity. And my thoughts are that people should give what they can, receive what they need. So, as long as we've got enough and we're looking after each other, we don't need to go off at an angle and see how buy a big house, away from everybody else with a big car and all that bullshit. But you need a mechanism to ensure that is maintained, otherwise you just start arguing. So this aspect of a stakeholder element within your business to oversee, like I say, that you've got this purpose and you stay true to it, is something worth exploring. And it's not my idea. I got this from a book by a chap called Graham Boyd, South African, lives in Belgium these days. Worth reading.
What's the name of the book?
I'll put it in the chat, rebuild.
Great.
Just one other question quickly. I'm really trying to save the chat, but it doesn't say save like it does normally. I don't know what's happened there. It says merge to meeting window. I've never said that before. Just curious if anybody knows what that's all about, because I really would like to shade the excellent chat here.
If anybody would like any follow-up materials, including the chat, pop your email in the chat, or send me or Monica a private chat with your email if you don't want to share it, if you don't want everyone to see it, and we'll make sure that you get everything that there is to share. The Commons is an interesting model in terms of how to kind of do things collectively without the use of money, or maybe there is money involved, but a more collective way of meeting needs, managing resources. And I suppose there are a lot of ways of kind of bringing that into models that maybe are not obviously commons. I think there are some good examples in Spain that I'm aware of, and probably there are lots of other examples too. And I suppose these kinds of things can find their way into the canvas as well.
I think Brett wants to say something. He's at his hand up.
Yes, yeah, just wanted to build on what Ye was saying, and Simon too, is that there's all this stuff around, it's been highlighted in COVID, we've got to balance the needs of the economy with, staying safe and all that. And what people don't realize is that the economy isn't real. They think it's real, but it's made up. It's a human construct. And we can change it however we want. And all this stuff about, you've got to have this and you've got to have that. I mean, you look at the States, and almost 50% of their federal budget goes on defense. Mm. Why? You go to Costa Rica and they don't have a defense budget. All that money that is wasted on defense goes to social welfare and education. And their life expectancy is now higher than in the US. It's just balmy, and we're kind of making out like it's real, and that we have to carry on enacting all these behaviors that perpetuate it. Well, we don't. We have a choice, and it's up to people like us to start grassroots movements that are going to change that paradigm.
Great. It's all about choice. It's all about choice always. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? So there were just some interesting provocations just now about networks and commons and the use of money and so on. Is there room in the canvas to play with these kinds of innovations?
I don't know if I understood what you said. Which kind of innovations?
Well, I've used the business model canvas in working with entrepreneurs here in Totnes and other places, and I never liked it. I never liked it because it was like being in an industrialized elementary school.
Yeah.
Fill in the boxes, and it didn't capture the aliveness of a business system. And it didn't really allow for a lot of innovation unless you really wanted to just like not use the canvas and draw circles and squares outside of the line. So my question to you all is, in the regenerative canvas, is there room for bringing in these kinds of innovative ideas, or maybe is there room for this to evolve to begin to include these kinds of innovative ideas if they don't already?
Oh, I think so. I think I for sure it is. There is, because well, every step of the way in this framework we design, it's a whole world of stuff, a whole world of information, a whole world of it's up to you how you are going to use it. You can do it, like I said, in a light way, and not go deeper in the reflections. But if you go deeper, you're going to, find a lot more information that will help you to, to do something even better and add some other stuff that probably will help a lot the framework to evolve. I think it is.
I think there is something interesting. I don't know if you can, Mel, but if you can show the first work that you did with the entrepreneurs about Ikigai, you know, she made a board about Ikigai just to look to what's the purpose of that business group, you know, like what of that entrepreneur. And that was interesting, Jay, because is this that you are saying, like, let's get out of this box, let's think about what's inside it, you know, that's a world of possibilities. And yeah.
I can show you. I will give you the word, Michelle. I'm just going to share the screen right now to show what Monica said, because it's like exactly like this. We can here just for you guys to have an idea. This is the first step of the entrepreneurs doing the business model canvas. They are two. They are a couple. And this is her work and purpose, and this is his work and purpose. And the first step for the territory we did here, and we are going to the second step of territory, you know, just investigating. This is their perception of the region where they are with their business. This is the perception, and now we are going to collect all the information that they will collect in the territory. So this board, this design will change with the real information that they will bring from the region. So just for you guys to have an idea of what we can do with different tools inside the business model canvas Reconomy. Michelle.
Hi, great. Thanks, guys. Melissa, I was thinking of the model that the spirals that you put up before on the screen. And I really like Jay's comment, because I think that's one of the steps that we also need to help people change their mindsets in order to be able to think of those innovations. So when I look in the model, from what I understood so far, to me, the innovation would fit in the dream area. But for that to happen, you probably would need to know a lot about yourself, need to know a lot about the territory, need to investigate. So all those points that you showed in the Ikigai, now, to me, if we think in a normal concept, it would be like an investigation, diagnosis, but then you need to enable yourself to think outside the box. And then is when the innovation can come together with collaboration, together with connecting the dots. I don't want to pull it too much towards the Reconomy, because I have worked with Lala a lot, but when you start talking about the abundance, the talents, the ideas, the dreams, the innovation can fit in there, in my sense. And then I think it works in spirals systemically as well, because you can come back and go forth in any time of the process. I don't know if that's what you guys meant as well, but that's how I understood so far.
Great, Michelle.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from anyone? Okay, so what can we expect from the English language platform once that's up? When is it going to happen? How is it going to change our lives?
Well, soon the English version will be in our website, and it's also going to be in other platforms, isn't it, Monica?
Yes, we talked to Filipa, and she said that she will put the link in TN website so people can use it. What I believe that we can expect is that this is an alive model, I believe, and we would love if people can say, how can we do better? How can it can help more, and co-create it with us. So we'll have email on the website. I will put here our mail and be connected, and for sure be with you on this Reconomy community of practice that we already are. So, and keep on, I don't know, working on it, and maybe thinking how it can help us to create this new narrative that we are all working in our places. I think this is a global narrative.
Yes, and we can leave it available, the ebook and the framework for downloading, and everybody who would like to to put in their own platforms, to use, to local people use it. It's very welcome too. So if a Reconomy project in Totnes would like to do it.
So what you're saying is if we would like to link to the platform from our own websites.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes,
okay?
Yeah.
it's open.
Great.
And yeah.
Yeah, we will definitely do it. I think here where we are in Devon in the southwest of England, there would be many people who would benefit from using it, would be interested in using it. So we will do our part to put it out there. We'll definitely put it on the Reconomy Community of Practice Facebook pages, and we'll tweet about it. And this is being recorded, by the way. So we will share the YouTube recording too. But Monica, I think maybe I missed it, or maybe you were just being evasive. When is the English platform going to be ready? Soon?
We hope, to tell you the truth, we hope that today we can put it back because
okay.
yesterday the local web that was the host stopped working and we couldn't put it on today. I don't know, but I hope today in the afternoon or tomorrow in the last time we can have it. Really, it's ready.
Well, that's exciting. I'd really like to check it out. And so I guess we can keep checking back to your website, and then we will know. But probably you have an Instagram page too?
It is. Yeah, we do.
So
we
can
share
put
that?
there. Yes.
Hold on.
And do you have LinkedIn or anything like that too?
Yeah, I'm gonna link it in here.
Great. Okay. Anything else from anyone else?
Yeah, maybe I wanted to remark, we have a situation which is really like never had been before in history. Like there's a planetary a threat of a planetary death, let's say, of the planetary death. And in this, we need a global simultaneous solutions and which work in a very short term. And also it's a very new situation that also the rich and super rich and all strata of the society, the poor and all together, all nations can only survive if we find one solution which works very fast to change all into a new world, let's say. Yeah.
Well, I think probably everybody in the call would agree we all have to pull together and try to change things rapidly. I'm not sure there's one solution, though. I think there might be many, 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 many solutions, diversity of solutions, tons of things that work out there. And I suppose we all have to find our purpose first and to see how we can be part of that change in whatever way works in our place and with our own skills and our own desires. And anyway, it's all good. Any other, Monica, Melissa, Angel, do you guys want to take the last couple of minutes to bring us home, so to speak?
Well, I just want to thank you, all of you guys, to be here with us, and I hope we can hear from you and the use you had with this framework, and understand how can we improve it together, and how can we help and support more entrepreneurs to build new business and make all this change we need, Jaya. I know we do need in very huge scale, but what I can feel that I can do, it's like do something here where I am in the micro politics, and this is this business model Canvas Reconomy talks about this. How can we do here right now with what we have? And that's it. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'd love to say too that thank you, Jay, for being with us in this journey and helping us with looking all the material, having so much patience with us, and answering questions and all. Thank you all for being here, and use it as you think it can be useful for the world. That's what we really want about this work. And tell us if we can do something else to make it better. Thank you very much for being here with us.
I'd like to thank you very much too to be here. I'm not fluent in English, so I let those amazing girls talk in my name. But I'd like to thank you. It was amazing to be a part of this project, and I hope you use it very much. Thank you, Jay.
Great. Well, thank all of you, and thanks everybody for coming. And we will see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
See you. Bye-bye.